Desk setups these days are not cheap. Elgato wants £150 for a Stream Deck, but Fifine's Amplagame promises the same job for just under £80. For the last 2 weeks, I've put the Fifine Amplagame on my desk. And by the end of this video, you'll know if this budget deck is actually worth your money, or if it's cheap for just a reason. Who wakes up one morning and says, you know what, I'm going to challenge Elgato? Because that's exactly what Fifine has done with the Amplagame Stream Deck. And that's interesting, because unlike other accessories where competition is everywhere, this space is dominated by Elgato. Sure, Razer and Loupedeck exist, but most buyers compare directly to the Stream Deck Mark II. Now let's talk numbers. The Elgato Stream Deck Mark II lists at £149.99 RRP, often dipping to around £119 to £129 on sale. As I said earlier, the Amplagame Stream Deck, Fifine's own UK listing, currently shows under £80. So it is cheaper, yes, and quite dramatically so. It's almost half the price. Definitely an underdog story. Unboxing the Stream Deck, I admit, it looks good. Sleek design, sharp on-key displays, and large buttons that feel easy to hit. Unlike the older, stripped-back Elgato models, this Stream Deck even throws in RGB lighting with brightness control, giving your desk a glow that can be both practical and aesthetic. And those rubberized grips on the base, they keep it solidly planted, whereas the Elgato slides around like it's on ice. On first impression, this feels like a confident budget option, but as with all gear, first impressions are only part of the story. The real question is, does it stay useful once you push past the basics? Fifine does play its opening hand very well. Setup is straightforward. Drag and drop a macro, assign an icon, and you're done. For new users, that's a dream. Launching Discord, muting a microphone, firing up OBS, kickstarting your favorite game. Things that used to take extra clicks are now one button away. The oversized buttons deserve praise because they're crisp, backlit clearly, and spread out enough that you won't hit the wrong one mid-stream or mid-gaming session. If Elgato feels compact, this feels roomy, like it's telling you not to squint, just to press it. Add in the RGB grouping and suddenly you've got a quick visual map. OBS controls glowing blue, Discord green, your game tools in red. It's the kind of small detail that becomes a genuine lifesaver when you're in a rush. And let's not downplay the build quality. For a plastic device, it feels sturdy. Nothing rattles, nothing feels hollow. And from what I can see across the internet, generally everybody agrees. It's built better than its price suggests. At this stage, you might ask, if it nails the basics, why spend more on an Elgato? And if your need stops here, you'd be right to wonder. But once you want to expand, to use plugins or build an advanced workflow, that is where the cracks do begin to show. Here's where the gap between Fifine and Elgato becomes obvious. Elgato has spent years building a plugin marketplace. OBS Studio, Spotify, YouTube Music, Philips Hue, even Home Assistant. Actions like starting a replay buffer or swapping stream scenes, they're official, supported, and updated automatically through Elgato's software. Fifine does have software. It supports drag and drop macros, OBS, and even claims Adobe Creative Cloud integration on its site. But here's the catch. You can assign hotkeys, yes, but if you're expecting a one-click Premiere Pro panel like Elgato's, you're not going to find it here. In my own testing, Premiere Pro support was minimal and clunky. Likely fine for beginners, but not editors like me who need speed. Responsiveness is another area where Elgato keeps its edge. The Fifine sometimes feels a fraction slower to trigger an action compared to Elgato. For everyday use though, this is negligible. And then there's the stand. Elgato's Mark II ships with adjustable stands so you can angle it higher or lower. The Fifine is a fixed tilt. That's it. If you like the angle, great. If not, tough. Over long sessions, I miss the freedom to adjust. So while the Fifine clears the bar for beginners, it does stop short of the ecosystem and flexibility that's more advanced. So here's my verdict. At just under £80, the Amplagame is much cheaper than Elgato's Mark II and gives you the core experience, a clean layout, crisp buttons, RGB grouping, and drag and drop setup. For beginners or gamers wanting to simplify everyday commands, that's solid value, and I couldn't recommend it more. But value isn't just about price, it is about growth. Elgato offers an ecosystem that expands as you do. Deeper plugins, wider app support, and software polished over the years. Fifine offers a functional, beginner-friendly Stream Deck, but its ecosystem is young, its integration is shallow, and its stand is locked at one angle. So here's my final call. If you're starting out and want to remove friction from your setup without spending top-tier cash, the Fifine Ampligame is an amazing choice. But if you plan to grow, whether it's streaming or editing, Elgato probably is still the safer long-term bet. It totally depends on your budget and your expendable cash. Like, sub, or don't. I'm just glad you made it this far in the video. But I'll throw the question back at you. Would you trade software depth for a lower price? Let me know in the comments below.